Hey everybody, let's talk about Facebook a little bit. But first I'll talk about the history of social networking. So it used to be back in the early 90s, if you want to socialize with your friends, you'd have to meet them in person or send letters over the US mail or pick up the phone and give a call. But of course in the mid-90s things changed a little bit. We had AOL with instant messaging and email. Those were the big things back in the mid-90s, the late 90s. Then of course in 2003, things began to change. MySpace come out, which of course MySpace originally was a file hosting site. That's why the domain was called MySpace. But the domain got bought by somebody else and it got changed to a social networking site. Which I mean back then, MySpace was the real big thing. You mean you could post pictures, have your own profile, your information, that sort of stuff, and add your friends and so on and so forth. And even all the way, even up till now, you can still use the old-fashioned profile layout and use HTML markup, that kind of stuff. That's the thing I've always liked about MySpace, is you can put in your own HTML stuff. Which, on the bad side, is kind of a vulnerability issue. People can easily put viruses and stuff in MySpace because of that. But of course, in like 2006 or so, Facebook began to emerge. Facebook had a different approach to social networking. I mean, at first, MySpace was really the place to go when it came to social networking. Even up to about 2008, MySpace still had a good fair share of the crowd. But of course, about that time, people started to move to Facebook because Facebook has a better layout and better approach to social networking, like I was saying. When you go to search friends, you can search by networks, your schools, your cities, well, used to be your cities, your place of work. I mean, there's so many different kinds of networks you could search your friends by. It made things a whole lot easier. The overall layout of Facebook was much better than MySpace. Do you want to know how MySpace copied Facebook's features? I mean, the design, the layout of the site. Log on to MySpace and look at it now, and then remember back in the days before Facebook came out, remember how MySpace was then? Big difference, isn't it? Facebook has a good design in terms of the layout and the applications, that sort of stuff. But here's some things that I want to tell you about Facebook that they probably don't want you to know when you first sign up to the site. I mean, if you don't like stuff being changed all the time, you probably won't like Facebook that much. I mean, almost every time I log on, at least during a week's time, something new changes. They'll have something new on the site, or they'll modify an existing feature. For example, recently they modified the messaging feature. I mean, I kind of like the old approach to messaging. You had the subject bar, you had the body, and you had the send button. You could attach a photo or a link or whatever if you want to. But nowadays, the messaging is like the chat. All of the previous conversations show up unless you clear them all. Let's say if you were having some disagreements with a friend of yours or some other person, you go to message them a year later, those old hateful messages are still there unless you clear them all out. I also don't like the fact that they took out the send button from the comment bar under pictures and wall posts. That was stupid. I mean, the send button was a simple approach. You could just mouse over and click send. But now you have to find the keyboard and hit enter. Which in my case, the keyboard is under the top letter desk. So I gotta pull the keyboard out and hit enter to send something now. Thanks a lot, Facebook. In terms of networking, I mean, networking is a good feature, but there's some problems with it. Let's say you signed up when you were in high school. You were a member of Sunville High School in somewhere California. And let's say you permanently deleted your Facebook account after you graduated. Now, I don't mean deactivate, I mean permanently delete it, which you can do. Because you want to start fresh, you want to recreate your account. But now, when you signed on, when you go to search networks, you type in Sunville High School, nothing comes up. See, Facebook doesn't want people who are not in high school to sign up to high school networks. They judge us by your age. I mean, if you're 18 or older, high schools aren't going to show up. Let's say you're still in high school at the age of 20, and you just signed up to Facebook and you want to find your high school. You can't find it because Facebook believes that you're already out of high school. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, if you stay on Facebook after you graduate, you're still a member of that high school. I mean, it could be 30 to 50 years from now you still be a member of that high school, but if you cancel your account for anything, you can forget about re-sign up to that high school network again. With some networks, everything's real secure. Like, for example, CPCC, Central Piedmont Community College. I'm on that network too, and when I signed up to that network, I had to enter a valid CPCC student email address for it to validate it. I mean, is that ridiculous or what? Let's say I already graduated from CPCC, but I wanted to sign back up to that network. I couldn't. And of course, like I was saying earlier about everything getting changed, users have no say in Facebook redesigns. Facebook can care less about you. I mean, it's their site, they'll change and do whatever they want. Who cares about the user? I mean, they'll stay there anyway, won't they? And the biggest thing of all, adding friends. You better be careful, I'm serious. You better be careful when you add friends on Facebook. I mean, they are watching over you and they're going to ban your account. Seriously, you better be careful. See, Facebook only wants you to add people you know personally. And you do not add people as a friend that you don't know. So anyways, when you go to add friends, it says, please only add so-and-so if you know them personally. So it's like you're being tested, more or less. You're being tested by Facebook. And in some cases, they'll actually guess if you know the person or not. Let's say you remember this person from middle school and you want to be friends with them, but they don't remember you very well. So you send a request, and they say not now on your request. So the request sits there. Now, see, Facebook considers that when friend requests get unanswered, it's abuse to the site and it's harassment to the users. No kidding, that's what they believe. If you send out a bunch of friend requests and they go unanswered, Facebook considers you as spam. And they consider you as abusing the site. They'll consider you as harassing other Facebook users, even though you've never harassed anybody. So they'll take they'll take those beliefs against you. So more or less, when you go to add friends, you get the second thought in your mind, even though it says please do not add the user unless you know them personally. It's more or less almost like it's saying, even if you know the user personally, do not add them if they're not going to accept this friend request, because you get in trouble. And when you go to add friends, do not add over 80 friends a day, because they will block you temporarily on the first offense, and then they may block you temporarily on the second offense, or they'll just delete your account altogether. Don't lie. You better be very careful when you add people on Facebook. Don't add too many during the same day. Don't add a bunch of Marias or a bunch of Joes or a bunch of Johns on the same day either, because they'll consider that suspicious activity too. And let's say, like I was saying earlier, let's say you go to add somebody from middle school and they actually go in and say, do not approve the friend request. They actually delete the friend request. And then you go to add them again. When you click add friend, a window pops up saying, do you know this person personally? To prevent misuse of Facebook, this friend request cannot be sent. So they want to block you from sending a friend request thinking you don't know the person or they don't know you, even though what the case really is they don't quite remember you very well. And believe it or not, that's not the only time you'll get that message. Last semester in college, there was a person in one of my classes I would add a friend on Facebook. I never knew this person before, never added him before, but the first time I go to add them, it says, do you know such and such personally? To prevent misuse of Facebook, this friend request cannot be sent. So I literally had to tell this person to add me as a friend just to be friends with them. So Facebook just tries to guess who you know and who you don't know. And, I mean, it gets really out of hand. And another thing I noticed was when people send you friend requests, when you approve them, you'll get another question saying, do you know this person outside of Facebook? Yes or no. So more or less, Facebook is just watching over you. So do not add friends that you do not know personally. I'm telling you, be careful. You may get banned. See, Facebook is getting really strict in terms of that. I mean, they're going against their general, the general purpose of the site. I mean, social networking is not only to add people you know personally, it's also a place to make new friends. I've met several friends on Facebook and then got to know them in person. The opposite way, yeah. Got to know them on Facebook, then met them. And by just randomly banning people for sending so many friend requests, it's ridiculous. I mean, there's people out there that maybe sent 4 friend requests and got their accounts banned. It's true. It's on the internet. So anyways, that's some information Facebook probably doesn't want you to know. Anyways, be careful when you add friends on Facebook. By the way, you cannot have over 5,000 friends. Any questions or comments? Let me know.